routes, I think, in these with a 3 first start, a 1 first start, and if you get the bomb pack, you can alternatively go to the east, grab the 2 heart containers in the Take Any 1 caves, and go through level 2, 5, and towards the White Sword. It's really just personal preference and what you get off the start here.
Yeah, 3 first seems to be the popular choice, or at least vanilla 3. The GDQ flags, these are, but with that twist that the dungeons themselves are kind of shuffled amongst themselves. So we're about to see what is hiding at vanilla.
It looks like level 4 got shuffled into the vanilla 3 spot. I think the most used routes are both level 3 and level 4. You kind of don't see that level 2 route utilized as often.
Level 2, I think, is a common third choice for sure after 3 and 1. Although 6 usually gets mixed in here just because of the way the Armos item works. There's about a 60% chance the Armos item is going to be at the grave where the power bracelet is in vanilla. So we'll see what our runners do.
Major difference so far being that thomjay did not get a bomb pack off of his first enemy, but Trails did. And that's going to potentially lead to his ability to clear through some of this dungeon a little bit quicker. We do find the first heart container in a staircase level 4.
Heart container always helpful. You do need it to get the white sword item, something between 4 and 6 hearts. So getting that first one, you're never gonna say no to your first heart. There's too many big enemies in here. Paul's voices. Ugh.
Yep, it's definitely doable with wood sword, but it's a question of whether or not you want to take the time to clear this room or not. My general preference would be to leave it for later if it's early in the progression of the dungeon in terms of the rooms you visit.
Yeah, Paul's voices just take way too many stabs to take care of. They do 2 hearts of damage, so even with that heart container, you can only take 1 hit before you're on your last one. Of course, the next room up with these diagonal block patterns, you're kind of stuck trying to get the shutter door open. The bubbles are almost worse than the bunnies. Doing the dance, making sure you can still get these stabs off. thomjay now is just kind of stuck, waiting to be able to shoot beam stores once again.
We'll see if sticking around this dungeon pays off with a good item get, or if they end up having to fight too many more difficult combat enemies. It does appear we have a -2 red dark nut, though, on this set, so that's kind of nice to see.
Anytime they have less hit points, it's a good thing. I am a little curious as Trails takes the death there from the Paul's voice. Neither runner, it seemed, tried to duck out of that room to find out which enemy was the primary spawn. Paul's voices take enough hits, and the other enemy in that room were Keese. It might have been worthwhile just to find out. Could you have left the room and seen Keese spawn instead?
The answer to that question will be no. Keese cannot take priority in the room, so you would have had the Paul's voice left.
Tonight I learned.
I believe it's any enemy that can be split, and since the gels do not spawn in a room with any other mobs, just the Zols spawn in rooms with other mobs. That's kind of the reason why you don't see those guys sticking around. You see the Pulse voice or whatever the keys are stuck with coming back first. Priority listing. Fortunately, looks like Trails is out of bombs already, but he did get the meme secret, it looks like, so it's gonna allow him to potentially buy the candle if it rolled down.
You're going to get an Armos check here at the Vanilla Blue Ring location. Well, we know it's not the item. Unfortunately, the blue gorillas on the screen hitting trails with a boomerang, 1 heart of damage each bop. He's back to start.
Yep, so that will be the specialty shop or the one-off shop. Not sure what it's going to have until somebody gets back to that location, though.
It is important to know where the blue candle is on this flag set because we know a dungeon is under the bush at the Vanilla 8 spot, and it's possible we won't be able to find the red candle, or if we actually need to go that route, the wand and the book to burn that bush down. But as long as Trails checks the other 3 shops, we know that the blue candle is only going to be in one shop type, so we'll get that information sort of by proxy. thomjay taking down that Gleeok from the door. Good job.
Yep, he knows that if you fight from that doorway, the Gleeok won't hit you, but you can hit it with sword beams, and slowly whittling it down is the safe and effective strategy. Unfortunately, getting locked in with a Patra is probably not going to work out too well, and with that being an issue room, it's probably a Triforce they're going to come back to later.
Oh, was that the Triforce room?
The Triforce is in the room to the left of it, but it's going to be really difficult to navigate without the ladder to that Triforce.
Yeah. Got past the Gleeok only to be, I know there was a slightly different fork in the road there, but getting the Patra as a reward, not what he wanted.
In the meantime, we did get a glimpse at the Vanilla 1 location being level 7. Trails did not want to stick around to see too much of that, though. It looks like he's going to make kind of a convoluted 2 play in the sense that he's not actually going to go to 2, potentially, but he does find the Armos item. It's the red candle, so he doesn't have to buy that candle anymore. But I was going to comment that usually you go Southern Coast to Monaco Rock to level 2, and it looked like for a second there he was going to go level 5, but he may just go route in this large secret and get himself some funding in case he needs keys, bait, or wood arrows at some point. For his troubles, he picks up 133 rupees, so it's going to eliminate some of the necessity to get some of the medium secrets in this seed, as the large secret will account for at least 4 of those medium secrets.
Always good to have some extra money. You got those bomb upgrades available in the dungeons. There are muggers in the shuffle. The last thing you want to do is have to start giving up keys and bombs to advance when you could have just picked up a large secret. That's going to help our runners a lot. Trails picking up that 6th heart on the coast. Already up to 193 rupees. Not going to waste that large secret just yet on the coast.
Yep, gonna take his newly found red candle and see what is underneath the burn brush that houses Vanilla level 8, and today it is still level 8.
Second race in a row I've seen 8 hiding out at 8. It's a stay-at-home day for level 8.
So the good news is level 8 has 3 items. The bad news is it's way worse than first quest Vanilla level 8 in terms of the room count just about every single time.
Trails has to be a little careful with these red Lionels. Get 1 hit of heart of damage just for giving them a hug, 2 for the beam swords, and just not able to deal with them in that sort of bracket moat room.
Yeah, to be honest here, he's already at 193 rupees with just 1 large secret. There's another medium and small within a couple of screens on the overworld, and that's most likely enough to get you into Blue Ring territory. So if he would like to kind of deviate for a minute, he may pick up enough defense to survive some of these rooms a little bit quicker. So it should come up as a potential option here shortly if you can't get past this room.
Yep, all 3 shops except the rare shop nearby. 2 of them near the coast item, 1 of them underneath the bush. That'll match the shop near the forgotten spot. thomjay, meanwhile, found the map in level 2. That's a weird one. And it's segmented.
On my count, it's only 13 rooms though, so you have 1 room that's the entry room, you have 1 room that's a Triforce room, 1 room that's an old man room, 1 that's a map, and 1 that is a compass. So that leaves you just 8 potential rooms, so every room that you clear has a 25% chance to drop 1 of the 2 items. After doing
This
all that
one had
math,
the Triforce.
of course, yeah.
Makes killing that red Lionel swarm worth it. Of course, our other runner immediately dealing with blue Lionels. Gets a magic wand for his trouble, though.
Yep, so now he's got some offense. I would definitely see if you can't clear through level 8 to at least the Triforce and maybe 1 more item, and then consider immediately just going for that upgraded ring. Having both offense and defense within the first 20 minutes or so of a seed will allow you to progress a little bit faster than you would with just a green wood sword, and can give you a little bit of an advantage if your opponent doesn't decide to do the same thing.
I wouldn't be surprised if Trails might want to hold off on that and at least see what's in level 2. The other sort of meme strategy with Randomizer, but it keeps coming up randomly. The moment you spend your money on something, you find the upgraded version of it in a dungeon. Blue ring, you're absolutely right, will definitely help his cause. You just hate to buy that blue ring and then immediately run into the red ring.
Yeah, but it's also kind of a microcosm of actually getting the upgrade, is you can actually clear more rooms more efficiently, so you're going to run into items a little bit quicker than you would have otherwise. And we see the first mugger room, so now we know it's bombs or rupees, and he's actually going to go ahead and burn a bomb to get through this since he didn't have enough rupees. So there's an advantage that Trailsy will have if he does decide to hold on to his money. And here's the disadvantage of Shapes level 8.
The long arm of level 8.
Well, on-stream math is just a little bit dangerous, but from my math, we're looking at 34 rooms there, which is a room larger than vanilla level 7. So he's got 2 items left, and probably, I think this is only like the 3rd or 4th room that he's in, so he's got another 30 rooms to check for 2 items, lowering the value.
thomjay gets a second heart container on the floor in level 2, and is just going to up an A. Think about it for a second just to make sure you got both of the items, and get out of there.
Yep, probably just really quickly marking his tracker that he got all the items in the Triforce before exiting and moving on to the next one.
Good tracking saves races.
He's going to make the unfortunate discovery that the Armos item has shuffled with the hint that, I guess it's a community hint in this case, that normally is in the Lost Hills Armos spot, so he knows where it's at. The blue ring is 241, and it is in the Arrow shop from Vanilla, so there's a couple different shop locations that you can pick that up at.
Closest one to Trails is, of course, right by the coast item. We're talking about good tracking here. Trails double checking that staircase that they've already pulled the wand out of, finding it empty, and moving on to the rest of whatever's up here. I'm seeing level 7. Probably trying to pirouette, see if one of these walls will open up so he knows he can't bomb up at least. The other words of wisdom usually level 8 and level 7 tend to kind of be mirror images of each other in that space, since in the game's memory they kind of occupy the same 8x8 grid. So they don't know it yet, but thomjay is going to be in a bottom left heavy dungeon. As he finds the book down a staircase, decides again.
Yep, and now it's really decision time for thomjay, as he has one item out of level 7 discovered and knows it's a bit of a larger dungeon, so it's a question of whether or not he wants to continue progressing. As we had just noted a moment ago, level 8 and level 7 mirror each other on a 8x8 grid, so there's only 64 rooms to pull from in that grid. And knowing that level 8 is nearly 35 rooms, you can deduce that the level 7 map will be no greater than 29, and most likely there are going to be empty slots in there, so you can probably estimate once you go back in there on Trail Z's side that he's going to know it's roughly 25, 26 rooms that he's going to have to clear to find both items.
thomjay is going to be our first runner to check out Spectacle Rock in the vanilla level 9 spot. Level 9 also staying at home today. Not what you want to see, because you have to take a very long walk to get up there, so at least the first walk up, not productive time. At the very least, you only have to do that one more time during the race, we hope.
And we did discover on Trail's side that fires did roll up, so you cannot kill them with a bomb. However, that will also give you a bit of information should they show up in the level 9 enemy set that will not have them counting towards your bomb dropper. So you will have another bomb dropper in there. In this case, it's a blue Lionel, it appears. That's the bomb dropper of that enemy set.
We have a Goma sighting in level 5. No bow yet. I'm not sure we've seen the floor item in 5 yet, so that Goma, you gotta keep it in the back of your mind. Is that where the floor item is hiding? thomjay must be here looking for the small secret. I think they saw the hint.
Yeah, he's collecting a little bit of money before going into this dungeon, probably because the mugger is, I believe, 44 to 47 range on its theft, so he can't afford to give up another bomb. He would rather take rupee penalty if he runs into it.
So both runners now in level 5. thomjay gonna discover the unfortunate fact that these red Lionels are not guarding anything. Or at least not a push block.
It looks like level 5 is also going to be quite bomb heavy in terms of the walls and exploration, as Trails is blocked out of the majority of the left side of the dungeon. So thomjay and Trails both are going to have enough bombs to basically get through this dungeon and potentially find the floor item and the Triforce.
It's Hyrule's favorite game, find the bomb hole. Trails just can't get past these red Lionels right now. 2 hearts from each of the sword beams that come in. 1 from the hug. There's just a lot of Lionel in that room. Of course, the segment also means we're going to have a second transport staircase inside the dungeon. Giving that item more time to hide wherever it is inside of level 5.
Nope, it's hiding right there with all the red Lionels. It's a heart container.
So the heart containers are starting to pile up. Still looking for really any progression items.
Yep. Trails now has a medium secret here. We'll see if he picks it up. If he does, that definitely puts him into blue ring range, and we'll see if he makes that call. I think I would probably ignore it in this specific circumstance because he's going up to Vanilla 5 and the Wall Sword location. So he's going to get a free chance for the white sword item to be the red ring instead, and not have to pay for the blue ring. But I would definitely keep it in the back of my mind, and in fact, if this... Oh, this is not an arrow shop, this is a candle shop, so it's not going to be here, but...
Yeah,
I would still have passed it up.
yeah, the coast would have been the place to go to. Whereas level 1's not terrible, 3 items. But I'm kind of with you. This is too much money to kind of leave burning a hole in your pocket. If there's something, if you know where the blue ring is, this is a great time to pick it up.
And at some point here, I assume thomjay will also go up to the northeast corner and discover the 103 rupees awaiting him there. And he'll probably all pick up the medium secret as well, since he picked up the small. So that will put him in and around, 235, 240 rupees. So he'll be real close as well, and will potentially have the opportunity to make that same call.
Trails picking up first heart container in level 1, or at least the first item is a heart container. Wants nothing else to do with those blue dark nuts and instead gets a manhandle to play with. Makes short work of Trails.
Looks like the better option may be to go south in this room by clearing out the blue dark nuts and the bunny or the bull's voice.
Given the options, definitely.
So thomjay has picked up his 9th heart on the Take Any 1, so he's only 1 away from potential bag check time.
thomjay also just tantalizingly close to getting that red candle. Although Trails just got a ladder on the floor in level 1 just for having to clear out a few red dark nuts. That's definitely...
I don't think it's going to lead to much of an advantage unless thomjay dies before getting over to level 1 here. And that's pretty low chances at this point. The only decision he has is, does he go to the White Sword Cave first, or does he go up the mountain to level 5, or does he do neither?
Might be going to level 8 first. Doesn't want to walk across Hyrule again, I'm guessing. Although, yeah, like you said too, thomjay also upped close to max rupees now.
Yeah, it makes sense that he just picked up the red candle, as we also see more combat available to our runners in level 1. That's all 3 items now out of level 1.
White sword. for Trails.
So it's going to be up to Trails to kind of push his advantage now that he's got a definitive combat advantage over his opponent for the short term. His opponent's going to pick up the wand in this room if he can get into the staircase, and he will. So a little bit evened up, but not in full. Doesn't mean thomjay can't keep pace, it just depends on how many Wizrobes he runs into.
The bane of many a runner. Compass for Trails in level 1, the giant number 1.
Yep,
It's all the
he's
way
gonna
up
go
at the
back-
top.
Go back to that manhandle a room and clear it, but he has the bombs now.
Oof, that is the manhandle, you're right.
And in this flag set, thankfully, they do not roll up. They roll exactly their normal HP from the vanilla game. So one bomb is enough if you get it right, and Trails does, so he'll get his first Triforce piece at 26 minutes and 20 seconds.
Well done, Trails. And we are going to get this white sword item check now, finally.
And it's definitely an important item. It's the raft, so it's a good thing that he routed that in before up and A. Now he's got his opportunity to go west here a little bit and check the raft spot, and we'll see what he does from there.
I'm going to cash in that raft immediately. Trails now potentially looking for that blue ring as you suggested. I don't think Trails has seen it yet, I guess. Either that or they just wanted to see if the arrows were there.
He's going to screen wrap because he knows roughly what shop it's in. He knew either the candle shop or the arrow shop, and the arrow shop is not too far away when he wraps the screen here.
There we go.
So I've been calling for this play for a while, and I really like this play because again, you want to push your advantages, and if you have that extra money from a high rolling large secret, it's extremely important to go ahead and go for it, because you can just pick up the large secret, in this case in the Dead Woods, or if you have to route back to level 8 to get the Triforce Layer, you can pick that one up, and it still allows you to buy both the wood arrows and the meat roughly for the amount of just one large.
And yeah, even if, like some of these things we're talking about, once you go into level 1, the ladder is going to be an easy find, these other items are going to be easy finds, you still have to actually try to do them. Trails is going to have this blue ring now, like you said, just have to push as hard as they can, at least as long as the blue Wizrobes are not around.
Yeah, but he's already taken the blue Wizrobe damage down by half. He would have died pretty much straight away had he not had the blue ring in his possession. So he can sit here inside of the like, which is what he's doing now. I don't know if he was purposely doing it or if he knows that sitting in there will actually allow him the opportunity to do some damage for free.
Going to at least save that room has fewer enemies in it and keep running.
Yep, similar strategy here. If you just sit on this side of the room, you can hit the red Wizrobe from the doorway, so as long as they spawn close enough and the blue Wizrobe doesn't sit in there with you. And that's a pretty useful clock pickup there. Meanwhile, thomjay has gotten a little bit further into this gigantic level 8. See if he can get some sort of advantage from clearing a few more rooms that Trails was able to clear.
Nice, well-timed fairy drop down to 1, now back up to 4. Level 6 has it in for Trails so far.
We have a staircase here in level 8, but it is the transport. There's only going to be one staircase in this level 8, so it's up to him as to whether or not he wants to take it and just kind of see where it leads him to. He's going to opt just to kind of clear south, which is, it's a 50-50 call. Sometimes it'll work out to take the stair and bypass a handful of rooms, and other times you bypass the next item, so.
Lone Goma in that room over there. So just more rooms. I think we might have found the other item in that other dungeon. But every time you see a Goma, you gotta be thinking, do I need the bow for that room? thomjay discovering the Triforce in level 8. So we know where the triangle is. We'll see how much more he wants to dig this place.
He's definitely at the halfway point of this dig. He only has another 14 rooms as he discovers a very untimely compass and shoot room. Meanwhile, it does look like we have the recorder at level 6, so that's pretty useful for Trails. He's basically a bow away from potential go mode, depending on where the silvers are. If they're outside of level 9, of course, you'll still have to find them.
That recorder was kind of hiding, trying desperately to blend into the background of level 6. And how about that for an item at the end of your spiral staircase room? Trails sees a Triforce on the floor. Just gonna keep exploring and look for this floor item. Gets a map. That is... Ugh.
Yeah, it's another 26 or so rooms, it looks like. So it's probably the second largest dungeon in this specific seed.
That is the Namekian Dragon Ball Dragon Purunga as compared to the Earth Dragon Ball Dragon Shenron.
Yeah, I was not as creative. I was just looking at it almost like it was a power cord with a little prong to plug into the wall on the right.
I see it. Trails is just going to grab this Triforce and go at this point. With the recorder, not a terrible... If we do need to dig this dungeon again, just 1 toot away.
Yep. Unfortunately, the dig and gamble of level 8 so far has not paid off for thomjay. He's found the regular boomerang inside of one of the staircases, so now it's down to locating the one remaining floor drop item. And if it's nothing important either, say the other boomerang or a power bracelet or a heart container, it's going to mean that he dug a lot of this dungeon and not gotten enough payoff for his time spent. Looks like Trails, with his health refilled and his offense and defense quite a bit higher than the first time he was in here. Gonna take that redig a level 4 and try.
This level 8 is just not being forgiving.
I think he's only got one room left that he hasn't been in, and after that he's got to clear the Patra or one of the other boss rooms potentially to find the floor drop.
You don't want to be this deep into a dungeon without seeing a floor item and know that there's enemies you can't kill yet. Of course, the flip side of that is if you ever get to a point where that's the last item you need, at least you know you don't have to come back.
Yeah, at this point, he really needs this to be predominantly the bow or the red ring to have the most payoff. The any key wouldn't be too bad either, but with 6 keys, it's probably a little bit lower on his hope for as far as items go.
Yeah, even with now 7 keys, although there's a locked door right there. Any keys, never something you want to leave behind until you're at the very end.
Yeah, so
But it does seem kind of classic to see it at this point.
I'm pretty sure it's in this Patra room, the floor drop, so we'll see if he decides to go down there and clear it, or if he has another room on his mind, or if he's just going to bail at this point.
It's a strange looking level 4 on Trails' screen.
This level 4 gives him quite a bit of knowledge, even though he's already been level 6. The first 6 dungeons share the initial 8x16 grid, which puts them roughly, give or take some empty rooms, at 20 rooms per dungeon. So with a rather large level 4, a relatively tame but big level 6, and a small level 1, you can kind of determine how many rooms are going to be left in 2, 3, and 5 without having the map. And he does have the map for 5, so it's really just going to help him when he goes to 2 and 3 to know that it's roughly going to be 14 and 15 as his room counts in both of those, as opposed to climbing up to the size of this level 4. It is a nice job on thomjay's side, because he had that blue Lionel screen that he had to re-clear for his Triforce piece at level 8 on just a single heart. So he did not have to go all the way back in that dungeon after taking a death. He instead was able to clear it on that attempt. So saved himself from potentially losing a few minutes.
thomjay presumably about to check the white sword item first, just to make sure it's not something that might be helpful. thomjay was still without the ladder, I believe. So I'm gonna be half disappointed it's the raft, because there's certainly more useful items to have, but the raft is required, so that's one less thing to dig out of a dungeon.
It's going to be interesting to see which runner goes back to check the coast spot first, once they both have the ladder. I would assume Trails is a little bit further in his progression, but if thomjay, for example, goes into level 6 after this and gets his recorder, will he flute back to 8 just to check it, or will he continue on his progression of dungeons?
I feel like all these free items on Hyrule, the white sword, the Armos item, the coast item, as soon as you can actually get them, you have to at least check on them. The last thing you want to be doing in this game is looking for items in dungeons, trying to find those silver arrows, the bow, or whatever it is, and it's just right there on the coast.
Yep. Trails only has 2 rooms left to check, I believe, in this level 4 for the remaining item. So it may be a solid play for him to go back and check those last 2 rooms before leaving. But then his decision is, do I go to the Recorder Lake and dig the dungeon there, or do I go check the ladder spot and then recorder back to level 4 to go back into one of those dungeons. And I think if it were me, I would probably check the free item before digging.
I'm with you. Check that free item. thomjay finally claiming this ladder in level 1. thomjay knows at this point the only other item in level 1 is going to be a staircase item. Actually, no, that ladder wasn't... I'm sorry, it's getting late for me at this point.
Yep, it's the white sword that's in the staircase, and he'll
It is
be
the
happy.
staircase.
It may not be the highest up in terms of his personal list of items that he wants to see, but it is worth every bit of the 8 seconds it takes to walk down that staircase and up an A.
Definitely. thomjay is actually up to 10 hearts. Not sure if we'll see anybody try to pick up the magical swords, but thomjay is in range at this point between that 10 and 14 heart mark.
Yep, and I like this play and routing from trails to get this large secret, as opposed to going on the top side of the screen above him and going directly to 7. It will allow him to potentially buy a bomb upgrade or pay off a mugger should he see one in this dungeon.
Yep, definitely agreed there. You don't want to walk around without any cash. And bomb upgrades, muggers. We haven't found that bow yet, but it wouldn't be the first or even the second seed in this tournament to find the silver arrows are blocked by wood arrow, by Goma or something else requiring wood arrow.
Looks like Trails is going to be up to 10 hearts as well, so they both have the same odds at magical. We're going to see now what thomjay decides to do. Will he go to the blue ring shop first, or will he go directly to level 6 and fight the Wizrobes? It looks like that is where he's going to go. Will that change his mind? We'll find out.
Speaking of bomb upgrades.
Yep, so his routing decision to go ahead and go to the burn brush with a large secret is immediately vindicated by that bomb upgrade. It's going to allow him the opportunity to bomb more walls without having to find a bomb dropper, and he finds both hearts at level 3 at this point, so now he knows that this dungeon is cleared. It's looking for a Triforce.
Picking up that one on the floor, another heart container towards the potential magical sword. They do have the white sword and a blue ring, so unless they're going back through the grave area for some reason, they might not ever go back to actually check, but it is an option.
And just to refresh my memory, is it level 2 that's located out that direction this time?
I'm gonna go with that right now. I honestly don't entirely remember that information myself.
It would have to be 2 or 5. 5 was at Vanilla 2, though, I'm pretty sure. So I want to say that was where 2 was. Looks like we do have a segmented level 3, which is not entirely shocking given how stringy level 4 was in the seed. Something had to kind of give, and he's going to get the map out of this room.
They just barely couldn't piece it together. Another one of these kind of stringy, linear dungeons, too, where you might get a lot of blocks along the way. Or you could get a Triforce.
Yep, that's the ultimate payout there.
So Trails is halfway home, but still looking for a bow and still looking for a nice set of silver arrows.
Yep, and it's almost certain in my mind that you go ahead and do your world rep at this point.
Oh my.
But Trails may be in a bit of trouble now because thomjay has found the bow and it's in level 6. So he may have to go all the way through the majority of the rest of the dungeons before realizing the bow's back there. We'll see if thomjay finds his recorder in level 6 or not. That'll kind of determine how big of a lead he has.
We did get a mags check. Trails not able to pick up the magical sword at 11 hearts. So at most 3 more left to pick it up, and there are several heart containers still at large. Now the one thing that Trails does have going for him, even though he hasn't picked up that bow out of level 6, he does have the Triforce and the recorder out of 6. So getting back there is going to be easy. Now, thomjay just went and picked up this Triforce at 6. I didn't see a recorder pickup. Maybe we missed it. It is kind of hidden on the floor.
He's going back in, so that may indicate that he has not seen it. And confirmed by his quick menuing there, he does not have the recorder yet. So we'll see if he finds it.
Recorder, of course, a required item to get into the lake of level vanilla 7. So as long as thomjay is exploring here, we won't have a situation where they both forgot an item inside of this dungeon. I don't remember exactly where that recorder was. It was in kind of a 2 blocks in the middle of the room.
Yeah, I only had seen it because you marked it on the tracker. I wasn't even able to see it for myself when it first got picked up.
Trails is really working this bomb upgrade right now and showing the blue Wizrobes no quarter. That is the most expensive key you will ever see.
Gonna find the heart container here. We'll see if he opts to bomb up or walks back around. In either case, he'll have enough money to pay off the mugger room that he's inevitably going to hit.
Now, if I remember this correctly, both items in level 2 were heart containers.
Yep, the other heart container is up from the mugger.
So if Trails goes back for that, we're going to go from 11 hearts up to 13. It's a reasonably good chance of picking up the magical sword if there's another check as long as you're up here. 1 heart, I'm not sure I bother for it, but 2 hearts...
Yep, 66% chance you would almost certainly go ahead and make that extra trek back there. Especially with Wizrobe set only appearing, I believe, twice so far. If that's the case, then there is a very good chance that it will appear a 3rd time, and if it appears in level 9, then you would definitely be rewarded. And even if it didn't, you would still have Dark Nuts. The blue Dark Nuts rolled up enough to potentially pose a threat to your potential lack of defense, seeing as they still don't have the red ring in their possession.
Both runners do have a blue ring now, though. thomjay finally went and found a blue ring shop to spend that money that was burning a hole in his pocket. And here we go. Place your bets out there. Will we pick up the magical sword?
Well, I think that's also 2 seeds in a row for you that the magical sword is 14. In this specific seed, not that big of a deal to me because you have that combat, but still probably frustrating for Trails, especially if he goes to this coast item and it is one of the last remaining heart containers.
Definitely.
In fact, with the recorder, I dare say he will probably at least consider the option of turning around, though he does not have the 8 Triforce yet.
There's nothing there on the coast to really go to, so World Wrap it is. Oh
And
no.
it is not a heart container, it is the magic boomerang. It's actually not that difficult to get the ladder to cooperate with you and clip around this coast boomerang if you want to, but it's probably not worth it to him. If you want to guarantee, however, that he could pick up the magical sword, the raft heart was up to the north there, just a few screens.
So back in everybody's favorite dungeon, level 8. So thomjay has actually worked his way all the way up to the top of level 4 while all this was going on, and just has to clear out kind of Blue Lagoon beta here to claim a Triforce piece.
Yep, both runners in this race made the correct call to go ahead and blue ring given the enemy sets and dungeons. So they're both able to progress through some of these tougher combat rooms such as the Patra and the NSU room, and the Blue Wizard rooms and the Blue Darknut rooms that house some of the items and or Triforces. And speaking of Patra rooms, keep in mind that we did not see the floor drop in level 8, and I believe that there's at least a reasonable chance that it was that Patra room. If that's Silver's, then all of a sudden we have both runners missing one specific item out of a dungeon that they've already dug.
We have seen a few Patras and a few Gomas that haven't gotten cleared out. I'm obsessed with the Gomas right now, I'm sorry.
Yep. thomjay is banking on the Goma having the last item in level 8, because that would ensure that it is not going to be the bow. Although it would still be the Silver's. Actually, no, he's the one with the bow, excuse me.
And the bow, I didn't see where in level 6 it was, but we know it's there.
Yep, it was in a staircase kind of up in the northern side of the dungeon. I don't think Trails got all the way up there.
thomjay completing his world wrap and getting the magical boomerang for his trouble. I don't think I've ever seen this. Oh no, this is a screen wrapping the other way.
Yeah, this is a shortcut to get over to this screen so that you can kind of forego going through 2 or 3 screens to get over here to what is 5 in the seed.
Five's a dungeon I don't feel like we know a ton about. We know it's segmented.
Yep, and it is also a double heart because we know that the heart container is one room to the north of where thomjay is now. And he's going to know where the Triforce is now on level 5 as well. So as long as he can locate the floor drop above, I think he may have already found the staircase item, heart container.
That's right, this red Lionel room was a heart container. It's so much easier with the blue ring.
Yep, he may have also already been in that room and picked it up, or maybe it was this room. Who knows? It's been a couple of minutes at least for this dungeon.
thomjay is out of keys.
And remember earlier how I said he didn't want to see the magic key? Well, I've changed my mind. Maybe now he wants to see that magic key.
Yeah, you always want to see it. but this game, it just knows.
Now, Trails is about to face his conundrum here in this dungeon. Will he take this Triforce and leave? No. He is also going to continue digging. He's got to be careful, though, because he's about out of health. And these red Lionel beams will take one. And they do, in fact, take the last one.
Back to start for Trails in this gauntlet of a level 8. I would not have blamed Trails for picking up that Triforce, even with the walk back that would have resulted. thomjay finding the other bomb grade in level 5.
Yep, it's useful because he sacrificed that one bomb a long time ago in level 2. But it's a small concern for him now, as I believe he only has one large secret left at his disposal, so if he starts to run short on some keys, he's only going to have potentially 2 that he can buy.
thomjay finds the Triforce just sitting on the ground, guarded by Wallmasters. Not sure why the Wallmasters put the Triforce in the middle of the room when they can only go along the walls, but thomjay's just going to think about it and pick it up. I don't think thomjay has seen the second item in level 5 and is going back in. Of course, it's immediately behind this key door, or was this another transport staircase?
Could have sworn we saw the staircase item as a heart container at some point, maybe on Trail's side, but I want to say we have for certain seen both items in here because it did cause Trails to bail earlier without looking for the compass and or Triforce.
Your memory serves you well.
Does thomjay know it's not going to be anywhere near enough for Magical Sword this seed? He's going to have to get at least 2 more hearts.
I think thomjay is just thinking at this point, where to next? We're starting to run out of Triforces to have to find. thomjay has the bow. We didn't see that recorder. So both runners looking for silver arrows. thomjay looking also for a recorder. And that, I think, is a slight disadvantage because it's less transportation around the overworld.
Yep, he's already seen one of the items, I believe, one room up in this dungeon. So he's going to have to hope that there's no immediate key blocks in this dungeon. And that, almost like this to be the magic key for his sake, because I think that's actually going to be more useful in getting back through other dungeons quicker.
Yeah, sometimes it's not the item you need to beat the game, it's the item you need to proceed just and have a good quality of life. thomjay, of course, also found a dig dagger. I don't know if we've seen the book, I guess, in level 7. I believe that was a staircase item.
Yep, that was the first staircase there, like the push block with the wires that you passed earlier. That's the one we've seen.
So the drop we're looking for is a floor drop. And I think that's now 2 dig daggers we've seen in here.
And for those who saw Game 1, Game 2 is beginning to look like it might be the same series of unfortunate events that kind of trolls the runners, but we do find the magic key on the floor of level 7, so lo and behold, his key troll's now gone. He can actually clear through some dungeon rooms a bit quicker.
That is going to be a huge help for Tom J.
And I actually think he's in the lead, in my opinion, at this point, because he knows now, based on process of elimination alone, that level 6 has to have the recorder, or it has to be Patra blocked at 8.
You know, with important items unavailable in 9, we know the power bracelet's going to be one of those 2 items.
Yep, silvers at this point are guaranteed to 9, so it's going to be a bit of a hunt in 9 to finish the seed for certain. Unless, of course, they're just one space up like they were in that one tournament raid.
And Tom J also getting that Triforce out of 7, now able to explore some of the other dungeons. Trail's still kind of stuck in level 8 hunting. Maybe this Patra's going to have those arrows we're looking for. Nope. Patra just had some more jewelry. Trails is going to have access to the Any Roads now, at least. So that power bracelet, we said that was one of the 2 items that we knew couldn't be in level 9. It had to be in 8 or somewhere else.
Yep, it was down to 8 or 6 for him. He didn't know which one it was in. thomjay will not know that the power bracelet is in level 8 until he gets back to level 3 after getting his recorder out of level 6. So basically, both runners are almost going to 100% the items in this seed. The only chance they have of being one item short of 100%ing in terms of picking up every item would be if they don't find what I believe is the last of the hearts in level 9.
I think we're still missing a red ring as well.
Oh, that is correct. Then we are looking at red ring and silvers in 9. I thought we were missing one heart, but I am incorrect.
Something randomizing. Tom J, whether he saw the power bracelet earlier or not, is making the right call, digging 6. That is a huge block of rooms up there, though, that the recorder could potentially be in. And Wizrobes and keep going.
I'll say this is quite an interesting seed in the sense that we had 2, 3, and 4 are some of the smaller dungeons. All 3 of them were double heart contained.
Given the first race between these 2 lasted an awfully long time, I think the game just has it in for them at this point. There it is.
It was in a 4-block room. Looks like Trails is back into level 5. I'm fairly certain he went into the staircase already, but am I wrong? I am wrong. So now he is at Mags. And given the combat that they have this time around and the heart containers, I don't expect this one to take north of an hour and a half. I think once they both get 9 and search out the silvers, it will only be a matter of time.
Trails wants to take the grave route walking towards level 9. I don't think a Mags check is out of the question. And of course, a check with 14 hearts isn't really a check so much as a claim. But the question is going to be, is Trails going to look at this timer and start saying, Where's my opponent? What's going on here? Do I really want to spend that minute to get this offense upgrade?
Well, the bonus here for Trails is he knows now where his bow and silvers are if he's tracking appropriately for the seed.
Did Trails see the any key? Well, it hasn't been in 7 yet, or at least not significantly so.
He poked his head into level 7. I don't think he went in, so you're correct. He still has a small chance of not having his silver sent to 9 or his bow to 6. So that will unfortunately put him most likely a little bit behind thomjay, and as a note here, thomjay did win game 1, so if he wins game 2, there will not be a game 3. It will be his victory, and he will be moving on.
thomjay also just 1 heart away from being able to walk over to the magical sword and pick it up if he really wants to.
I think he spurned the heart container in the staircase, though, in this dungeon.
Yeah, I think there was 1 heart that he skipped. And I don't blame any runner that doesn't want to go and check the magical sword at this point. I mean, blue ring, that many hearts, and the white sword. The white sword is really what puts that decision over the edge. Wood sword, I would say maybe still think about going to get it just for that offense upgrade so you're not sitting there stabbing Ganon 15 times.
Yep, unless I have to dig Vanilla 6's dungeon last. When I have White Sword and 1, I'm almost never checking Magical Sword. If I have only White Sword or Wood plus Wand, or just Wood Sword especially, I will check it. And Trails has his 7th Triforce piece as thomjay picks up Triforce piece number 8. So it looks to me as if thomjay has roughly a 3 or 4 minute lead, at minimum, maybe closer to 5 to 6 in his entrance to level 9.
Yep, Trails is probably going to be a while. Even with those 18 bombs, picking up that 2nd bomb upgrade at some point recently, they know that the bow cannot be in 9. So we know he's going to start digging these other dungeons, trying to fill in the rest of the boxes on the tracker.
Uh-oh, thomjay is going up to Magical Sword after skipping a heart container. Will he be salty? We will have to find out in the post-game chat or interview from him.
We're going to have to make sure he knows.
So Trails is now going into level 7, and thomjay has fluted to level 1's dungeon, but is going to flute again to level 8. Does he have the wood arrows? No, I don't think he does.
No, neither runner has purchased.
I was going to say, if he doesn't have the wood arrows, I do not quite like this play as much, given that we did see some Goma blocks in this dungeon. If you want to make the wood arrow purchase and go into level 8 and clear the Gomas and the Patra to confirm that your silver's a 9, that's absolutely acceptable because you know what rooms are left in here. But if there was in fact Gomas in here and you don't buy the wood arrows, then you're actually banking on the Patra having your item, and that's a bit of a risky proposition.
Especially with this super, initially linear, combat-heavy level 8. we've seen our runners kind of slogging through this place for a long time now. And to your point, if you don't know you can kill every enemy you see, is it really worth it to do this?
Again, I haven't paid close enough attention to where the Gomas are in terms of the enemy set. I did not know if there was one in this dungeon, but if there is and you don't buy wood, then it's technically not the best play.
And in situations like this, at the risk of being that commentator, I would still say you might want to consider digging out level 9. It's new ground, it's a place you haven't really seen anything out of yet, and you know that the item's potentially in there. You might want to be wandering around level 9 and spending that time looking for Ganon, looking for the kidnapped. It's time that won't be wasted as long as you're tracking it properly.
I would agree in most situations, but I will play spoiler to your decision there and say, what if you know where the Patra is in this specific dungeon and you have it narrowed to this one room? Would you spend 3 minutes clearing the one room that you didn't clear earlier before going to 9 and checking 50 plus rooms, or would you go here first? Now, the one thing I will point out is he had every other item except for the power bracelet, the red ring, and the silver's known when he went into level 8. So he should have deduced that level 8 was going to have that specific drop on the floor.
That 8 was a little combat heavy. If you even when you know it's one specific room, there's at least you can get back to it later as long as the item you're looking for is not the recorder. Trails does pick up the any key in level.
Yeah, so Trails is now going to know that he has to go back to level 6 to find the bow. And I think he had about 8 or 9 rooms left to check in that dungeon. So it's going to come down to how fast can he get the bow and get into level 9. thomjay is certainly going to have the opportunity to win game 2 without Trailsy ever getting in there, but find out.
I'm going to call that as thomjay into 9 around 1:12:30. I think it was a little later than that, but estimates.
And still of note here is the fact that Trails can go check the magical sword and pick it up for certain. And with blue Wizrobes being in the first 2 rooms of level 9, we definitely know it's a Wizrobe set, so it could be an important get. Now, no, Trails is going to level 6, so I was going to say for a second here, we may have actually missed that bow pickup. Certainly not now.
Just took Trails a second, I guess, to remember, oh yeah, I have a recorder.
Yeah, this is level 2, which he's already been in. So I guess he's going to go check Magical Sword, or is he just forgetting where 6 was?
Pause and thinking about it. We're going to get a Magical Sword.
Yep, since you've already fluted here, you might as well. So of note as well, thomjay does have a red potion, so despite his slight combat disadvantage going forward, he's going to be able to survive for quite some time still. So Trails is fluted to level 1, so he needs to aim down and flute 3 times in order to get to level 6. Going to level 8. This is 7.
I'm not sure if we have thomjay's game sound at all. We are in level 9, so we are listening for that roar of Ganon somewhere.
Yep, I certainly won't have the game audio for hearing Ganon, but that's only one of many things that thomjay is looking for. He's also looking for a staircase item, which could be here.
Conveniently in a reverse C room. Trails is in 6, so we're in the right place.
And thomjay actually pulls off the swag clip through the reverse C and has found silver arrows. So we are running short on time if we're rooting for game 3. And while I don't have any sort of horse in this race, I do always like to see the maximum amount of games played. And he's going to go ahead and post right away. So he may be near Ganon.
I'm always in favor of Game 4 in your best of 3 series.
Yep. Extra games. Game 4, Game 5, Game 7.
Never doubt the tie. Yeah, thomjay is now on a mission to find the pig. Of course, this is a room with just one shutter door. It does open though, so no kidnap this time.
It's a bit of an annoying Gleeok that's shuttered him in at this point.
Oh
Does,
my!
however, get the compass, so that is useful. The downside is his bomb count is looking rather low, so he's going to have to get a bomb drop here or farm a bomb off of an enemy.
There is a red wizrobe in that room, so it is possible. Do you remember exactly which room had the bow in level 6?
I thought it was up at the top here, but I could be wrong.
There's a staircase.
Alright, so 118.12 roughly was when Trails picked up his bow. He's now on his way to level 9. So a handful of minutes down, and he's gonna have to get kind of fortunate to get onto the same route as thomjay did for the silver arrows.
You need a couple hands to start counting the minutes at this point. I don't think it's going to be a 10-minute gap, but this is a significant knowledge jump between thomjay and Trails. Not to mention the fact that Tom does have the silver arrows now.
Yep, and we do have a potion grab as well for Trails, so he also has that increase in his potential defense, if not via Red Ring. Oh, and we do have Ganon on the way potentially to Zelda, so time may be up.
Yeah, we're just a couple of rooms away. thomjay gets one stab in. He's getting beat up by these fireballs. Needs to get more hits in here. Gets 2, 3, loses the lock. 4, 5. Does thomjay have a potion? 6.
If he has blue potion, 7. And he gets it without a potion, so if there's blue wizards on the way, he now has a chance to get through them with a potion.
No immediate door up, but 8 bombs.
Yep, 100% turning around and going back to Ganon's room and bombing up at this point. You gotta make sure there isn't an immediate. And the game said no up, but did say yes to the left door. Will you be able to bomb up in this room? No. And no left either. So after all this, there's a little bit of intrigue left in this one. We may have to find some sort of convoluted route to get there, or maybe have to bomb right in this room.
Yep, the one wall that he did not check. No
And
luck.
yep, noped him as well. And there is a wall finally that goes to the rightmost column. Can you get up this column is the question. I think you still have to clear these just for the potential bomb drop though. Should have one on the last one he hits here. And did not get one. There is
Looks like
still a
we're gonna
route
have
up.
top row access.
Last bomb. Can you go left? No, he's out of bombs.
Not the most desirable situation for Tom J. Show me red ring in the staircase. Come on.
Well, will bombs bail him out? Will this be a magic staircase to that area? The answer, again, no. But you want to clear these rooms now because floor drops can be bombs.
Yep. Any weak enemy or anything like a Pole's voice, you can take it on one shot. Definitely worth doing it for that exact reason.
Yep, don't look now. Trails actually has the route to Zelda figured out for the most part here because he's 2 rooms away from Zelda. She's to the right.
That's some strong knowledge, but Trails doesn't quite have the silver arrows.
Yep, he's on the other side of the map, if I remember correctly, from where those are located. I'm pretty sure they're right on the bottom row somewhere.
Trail's not taking the transport staircases, just continuing the search for silver arrows.
Yep, the room that he is looking for is in column 4, row 7. And he's going to take a death here, but I actually think that may be a blessing in disguise. So now we're going to see if thomjay has access to the staircase that Trails found a little bit earlier. It may be this room, but I don't quite remember. Nope, this is the one that sent him back, but this will be the bomb droppers he's looking for. So there is another payoff there. So he tried bombing left in this room north of here last time. It said no. Can you bomb north from this side?
This is the missing bomb attempt.
No.
So that staircase is probably the way.
I would stop short of calling it a magical staircase since it appears that there were several staircases up in that general vicinity. But definitely looks like there is kind of 2 distinct segments in this dungeon. One in the roughly the north-northwest and one in the south-southeast. They kind of separate from one another.
Will Trails find the red ring before the silver arrows? Yes.
And thomjay finds a stall staircase, so that's not the way either.
Trails is gonna fill up here. get the 14 hearts with quad defense. Did Trails actually see the shutter door?
Trails has not seen the shutter door, so he's not going to know how close he was, but he was definitely on the path. Unfortunately, thomjay has found a bomb hole to that staircase that Trails found earlier, so he is well on his pathway. I don't think there's any way into her general area from the east. That's why I happen to think that this route should be
this
good.
has to be it.
And game 2 and the series will go to thomjay. One of our resident members of Team Sweden will finish in first place with an official SRL time of 1:26.11. Get your GGs out.
Definitely GG to thomjay here. Finding the path, finding those silver arrows pretty quickly in level 9. And just really for a lot of this race, at least like the second half of this race, certainly, coming through and finding the right spots for these items.
Yep, well, there were certain things that we pointed out during the race that each runner could have done slightly differently. I don't think any major mistakes were seen on either side in this one. It just happened to be the routing decisions that they made that paid off in favor of thomjay, allowed him to come through with victory in this race.
Yep. It's good to overcome that lack of bombs as well. Finding that any key in 7 was timely when it finally happened. Did feel early on like Trails had a bit of an advantage, but it just sort of faded when we had to find that bow. But either way, GG to thomjay, and we will see him in the next round. Trail's still just kind of stuck here, going through level 9, not quite finding the right place to look. I believe, is that going to be thomjay here in chat?
May have to set up his mic real quick. Let's see.
Yep, we've all been there. Trail's just having a heck of a time finding a path to the bottom of 9.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it has to be a bomb wall at some point that gets you down there. So may have just been the bomb wall that thomjay chose that put him on the path early. I remember seeing this as kind of the hopeful but inaccurate way to Zelda's location. Alright, looks like we have attempt number 2 to talk to thomjay. Sir?
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
GG.
Thank you, thank you.
So you must have been a little bit nervous in this seed. You found every item along with your opponent, and that's always kind of scary.
Yeah, I could not find anything at the start, so...
I guess the big thing out of this race, how much do you hate level 8 right now?
Very much. I fully cleared that one. It was not fun. I started to get stressed also. So.
Yep, the big difference, I believe, for this one was the death counter for Trails was probably closer to 7 or 8 deaths, despite the fact that he picked up the blue ring a bit earlier. And it kind of put him behind. He's at level 9. I think he got in probably 8 or 9 minutes behind you with magical swords, since he did not turn down his heart container. I'm sure that was quite frustrating as well for you, going to magical sword at 13 hearts and figuring you were probably good, only to find out that no, it was 14.
It was not fun at all.
Yep, had King Doll in chat saying he turned down that heart container and it came back to... Did not hurt you too much in the end, but maybe slowed you down a little.
Yeah, as long as I have the wand, it's all good, I think.
But overall, this seed treated you a little bit better, I feel, than game 1 did.
It was all hearts in the beginning and in this one also, so I don't know.
As we were talking about earlier, it will now put you up against Dr. J, PhD, one of our veterans in the community. How do you feel about your chances so far against him?
Slim to none.
I think everybody always has a chance against anybody, even if you go up against the best, they always have a chance to slip up. So you'll get your opportunity to play and see how you fare.
Yeah, we'll see.
If you can survive this seed and all of the combat it threw at you, there's definitely a shot at it. Definitely go in there, play your heart out, and hope for the best.
Yeah, I'll try.
So I guess the other question, I mean, if you don't have any other thoughts about the dungeons you got to see tonight in this mess, when did you make that realization that the silvers were going to be in 9? And was there ever a thought to get the wooden arrows along the way?
I just when I was at 7 I did last. I don't really remember.
I think the last dungeon that you had to go to was 3 because of the recorder block.
Yeah, it was after 3. I really thought about it, but it was one floor item left in 8, and I knew it was the Patra, because I cleared every room. So I took a chance, and it was the power brace.
Yeah, unfortunately, the power bracelet is still considered an important item, and so because important items are off for level 9, it was guaranteed at that point to be there. But you learn some things when you play in these, so that will be something you can learn and take forward to the next match.
Yeah.
We have a second troll staircase in 9.
Yeah, Trails did not find the bomb wall that was found by thomjay quite a bit earlier. And it has led him to, at this point, almost a guarantee to full clear this 9.
Just been in every direction except that southwest corner.
You had quite a few fans out there in the chat for this one. Anything you want to say to them for their support?
Thanks for the support.
Looks like Trails is going to go this direction in the north of level 9, where he was already very close to Zelda's location. He will now get confirmation that she is in that shutter door.
I'm gonna head to bed now, so thanks for your work and peace.
Can't blame you. Have a good one.
Good luck going forward, and good luck with your mentor, who has a thing or two to say to you about the seed, apparently.
Yeah, bye.
GG once again. Don't forget out there in chat to give thomjay a follow. We'll put that link to his Twitch channel up there. Is thomjay just like it's spelled on the screen? And it does look like Trails is ready to throw in the.
Yeah, it looks like he may come in here real quick and talk about just one bomb hole away from finding silvers, I believe. It just could never get lucky.
At this point, just no shame in that. Sometimes these seeds will just throw this sort of a mess at you, and it just it's just not fun anymore. Trail certainly put up a valiant effort, gave thomjay a little bit of a run early on. And let's get him in here and congratulate him on a race well played.
What's up, guys?
GG Trails, sorry about that bomb hole. And I guess it was I want to say the fourth the fourth column, I think, on the southern wall is the only way to get to the silvers, and your opponent happened to find that just a little bit ahead of you.
My gamble was actually correct. I had a couple 4 items that I didn't get that weren't marked off on my tracker, like level 4 and I think maybe level 6 or level 7, one of them.
Yeah, so I can get the rundown for you. It was, of course, White Sword Ladder in level 1 with one of the heart containers. It was Double Heart 2, Double Heart 3, Double Heart 4, Double Heart 5. So that was 8 of the 9 out of the way in those 4. And then you had 6 was Flute Bow, 7 was Any Key Book. You had Nanner, Power Bracelet, and Wand in level 8. Boomerang was out or Magic Boomerang, excuse me, was out on the coast. Red Candle was Armos. Raft at the White Sword item. Thus, both Silvers and Red Ring got forced into level 9 for the first time in any of the tournament qualifier or tournament matches, I believe.
That's crazy. I mismarked 7, so I'm looking at it and jump into 7 looking for a 4 item because I forgot to mark that off. But yeah, apparently I didn't get the 4 item in 4 where I didn't mark it off. So I was going into 9 gambling kind of because I felt behind. It's always something like a bomb hole in 9. That's how I always lose. I'm sure he was probably in there before me, but I never find the map, and I can never find that magical bomb wall.
Neither one of you found the map, the compass to find Zelda, which you found before. Well, you found the route to Zelda, which was a bit convoluted before he did. you had to go through a staircase or a bomb wall. Is kind of take your pick. But the compass was all the way in the southwest in a Gliok room that you had to clear, I believe. You were
Right next to
shown.
the silvers, I'm sure. Right in the
Pretty
southwest.
much.
Silvers were in column 4, row 7. The Gliok was in column 1, row 5, or row 4. So a little bit of distance, but not too much distance between those two.
Yeah, that sucks, but oh well. I still had fun or whatever. Good luck to Tom J or whatever. Going on to face Dr. J PhD. That was a kind of a rough seed, man. Did he go blue ring and did he grab blue ring in both bombs?
He grabbed the blue ring, I want to say, around 42 to 45 minutes in the seed, so probably a good 7 to 10 minutes after you did. He spurned the heart container in level 3, which cost him magical sword because he was stuck at 13 instead of 14. And forgetting your other question already.
Yeah, he this seed gave me a run for the money, man. I had a difficult time with it. Usually in these seeds, they take me 2 hours or they take me like an hour 15. You know, it's weird. These seeds are really different. I got kind of trolled big time both times, I believe, with a bomb wall. But yeah, I mean, that's just how it goes. I wish I would have found a map because maybe I would have had a better idea of where to place that bomb. But I don't know. Finding the map in level 9 can be kind of difficult sometimes. But whatevs. I'm still gonna continue to try to learn this game. I don't know. I've probably only played 24 races, maybe. I don't know. I haven't raced too many, but I'm just starting to get the hang of it or whatever. Watching a lot of pros like you or Yunus or just all the matches in general.
Yeah, well, this will certainly be one to kind of rewatch because we kind of took the approach of breaking down a lot of decision making that both of you did and didn't really pull any punches for better or for worse to kind of give you evaluations of where you made decisions and where improvements can be made and where perhaps you made good calls. I think more so than Seed 1, you guys decided into getting combat advantages or improvements earlier on, and that kind of helped improve the times on this seed specifically in comparison. But he did not pick up his second bomb upgrade. I now recall your second question. He only picked up the first one, and he had to give up his bomb in level 2 because he got to level 2 early and did not have any money for that mugger that was guarding the second heart.
So he basically got a vanilla bomb upgrade.
Pretty much, he had to get that bomb upgrade to get north of 7 bombs back up towards 12. But I think he had about I don't know specifically if it was like 7 minutes or 10 minutes advantage in a 9, but because of his single death versus a handful of deaths that you had, it allowed him to kind of make up time over the course of this seed. And by getting that 7 to 8 minute advantage in a 9, it really left you behind in terms of not having silvers, and he had Ganon down with silvers in hand and a compass to find Zelda with before you even got in there. So it would have been quite something had you found the silvers quickly and found the route to Zelda as you did along with Ganon.
Yeah, how long did it take him to find those silvers? I'm guessing 10 minutes or whatever, or 9 minutes, however long it took me to get in there.
Nope, he picked that correct bomb wall up right off the bat, kind of lucky there, and then got extremely unlucky with no other bomb wall working to Zelda. So that compass kind of trolled him into a long exploration of trying to find the bomb wall to get up there.
Yeah, he found the silvers quickly, found the compass quickly, and that was sort of the end of his luck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Chevy room that you bombed up in was one of only 2 routes. The other, from what I saw, there was another transport that went southwest that he found, but you did not. It would have taken you a little bit away from the silvers, but would have put you in the right spot.
I found a stairwell that put me down in the southwest, but I bombed every single wall and none of them opened up. So at that point, I was just like, you know what? I don't even know if Silvers are in here. He's already finished. I'm just gonna go ahead and call it a game or whatever. I mean, I would have probably finished it out had I known Silvers were in 9, but I wasn't 100% sure. I did have all the information where Ganon and Zelda were, and I knew how to get there. It wasn't that difficult for me to find. But getting that one bomb hole down there weren't any transport staircases that took you down in that lower left-hand corner. Just one bomb wall.
Well, there were 3 transports, I think, kind of east to west across the north. There was 2 stall staircases right next to each other, basically. One just left of the starting room and one 2 rooms left of the starting room, and you found that second one. I think Jay found the first one.
I think you eventually found both of them though.
Yeah, I found both of them. I think I quit in the last one. Cause I found two beach stairwells. I found a couple that didn't really take me anywhere, and then I found the red ring, and I just ran around and I spent 18 bombs, and I was picking up bombs along the way and just bombing that whole southern western corner, and nothing. So I guess I bombed every single wall except for the right wall.
Yeah, well, sometimes level 9 route's really straightforward and you get right there, and other times it's a grand palace and you are in there for a while, and both of you had a little bit of a tough time finding what you needed out of there, so
Yeah, I
wouldn't
mean
sweat
that's
it
how
too much.
that's how 9 goes, man. I need to figure it out, because I keep on getting trolled by 9 every single time. The last race I had with this guy, I had a 5-minute lead, and he walked right to Ganon and right to Zelda. So I don't know. I just I need to figure out routing better, I guess. I need to figure out how to bomb the right bomb hole.
Level 9 sometimes really is just take the guess and hope it works. And in this case, that room was just in a weird spot. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. This definitely happens a lot.
I'm not worried about it. I mean, I've been watching all the tournaments for the past few years, at least. Well, since 2016, I remember I watched every single race of the Randomizer tournament and tournaments before and following that. And I don't know. So I'm pretty. I know how 9 can be, but I'm not really that good at it. I guess I need to play more Zelda 1 Randomizer and figure out these 9s better. Figure out a different approach, because I feel like that my approach gets me stuck every single time.
Well, you'll find that it's more luck than anything else as far as some of the bomb walls go. Uh, Any other questions you have before we go ahead and sign off and let the restreamer go?
Nah, man, just thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for doing the restream and the commentary and the tracking. It's always a pleasure. And I don't know, good luck to Mr. Tom J. He's facing Dr. J, PhD. 2 J's facing each other. But anyway, good luck to that guy. And I don't know, I'm still going to be racing, so I'm still going to be in the race channel trying to call people for racing and stuff like that. I already knew I was going to lose, and this is just going to make me want to play more, so I can't wait for the next match or whatever. You guys have a good night.
Yep, you as well.
You too. And yes, thanks again for showing up for the race. And yeah, thank you, Fury, for working the call here.
Yep, we had Mr. Broadstone behind the scenes with the restream. We had Mr. Cab wearing many hats this time, tracking and commentating, and you had me alongside him. So if you liked any of the work we put together, go ahead and give us a follow and a shout out, and we hope to see y'all next time. For now, so long.
Yep. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you for watching. Until we meet again.